So last time we talked about what does premium mean. It is something relevant to each one. This means the best way is to start by yourself, looking how you perceive premium brands, and think about how you would like to present your business. And for that, you do need the four-step framework, what Fabio shared last time. So the four-step framework, Fabio would like just to summarize it again, then we go to the next step.
Yeah, so basically the idea, it's very simple. The first thing that you have to understand for yourself, and again, I repeated this framework, it's not linear. The first step is to establish your value. And so, understand where it is that you serve your clients in a better way. The next step, I don't want to say second because again, it's going up and down. Um, it's to establish your boundaries, and so to understand where it is that you can give to your client and where you have to say no, so that you create that boundary. Then there is the nurturing and fight. Basically, the whole idea is that once you have established a relationship, you have to curate that relationship, um, post sale, and also like you have to be interested in the life of your client. There is a fight attached to this component because like you'll have to fight to keep your client, but you also have to fight when the client comes back that they'll use the excuse to say, hey, we have already worked together, can I get a discount? The relationship, it's never going to be linear. It's going to be a love and hate relationship. There is nothing wrong with that. The client does its job of being a client. You have to do your job to protect your company. So basically, that's it. What am I missing? What did I say?
So the last point, which is, I mean, it's not the last point. Okay, it's not linear. We still have the economics of the business.
Yes. And you have to understand the economics of running a business because everything is attached, right? In order for you to charge the right amount of money, you also need to understand where that money is then going to go into your business. Because one of the things that a lot of artists, especially when they stay small at freelancer level or like 2 or 3 people company, what they fail to understand is that they need to have quite a bit of chunk of money to put into the research and development, which we are going to talk about today. Then there is marketing, social media. When the company starts to grow, there is the actual logistic of going and see clients, doing things, going to events and things like that. So, these are 4 elements that you always have to keep in the back of your head, not only when it comes to elevating your brand, but also when doing any sort of like activity related to running a business. This framework you'll find that is at the base of every single, um, whether you have a product or you have a service, these principles, they'll always be true. And so, it's very good for you to write them down and to remind yourself, hey, this is where I add value. This is the amount of money that I need to run my business correctly. When the client comes, that this is not what we can do. And I can give you some practical examples in a while. And then, once you have made the sale, it doesn't mean that that client is yours. You'll have to fight and nurture for that client. An example that I wanted to give you, we have had recently somebody coming in and say, hey, we love your work, but we're going to do all the 3D and you just do the post-production. Like, okay, the price of of an image is this much. But why should I pay you for the full image if you're only doing 10% of the work? To which Dagmara actually answered, well, do you want us to do 10% of the work or do you want us to make beautiful images? Which I fucking loved as an answer because, this shows how you set your boundaries, right? How you protect
Yeah.
um, your reputation, right? So yeah, let's jump into today's topic, shall we?
We will kick off into research and development. And just keep in mind those steps. I mean, the research and development is one of the ways of how you can attract or get in touch with premium clients. However, it doesn't mean like either or. You do need to have the first steps. You do need to have this like good understanding about your position, and all the four steps: economics of the business, your value proposition, and the boundaries you need to set with the clients, and the sequence of actions you need to do to nurture the client, and how to fight for your rights. So research and development is something I think people in our industry are thinking of it in different ways, that are not always leading to the right direction. Um, what I would like to avoid in research and development is someone waking up looking to an image by another artist saying, "Oh wow, this image is nice," or "This 3D animation is nice. I'm going to make the same." And this is research and development. I'm going to learn the skill about how to do it. Yes, you can do it. Okay, it's fun. It's for you. Okay, if you have time, money to spend on your life, do it. But there are different ways. Today, Fabio will speak about this topic, and then I will join as well. I will speak about this topic, how me and all my people, my clients, are using research and development to attract or get in touch with the new clients. Um, and just to complete the set of topics we need to speak about. So last time we talked about the 4 points, the premium thing, or the mindset of premium thing. Today we'll talk about the research and development. The next time we will speak about how to apply it. Because I know you are getting nice information, you are getting your answers, your questions answered, but what do you need to do next for your business? This is going to be your the next episode. So Fabio, please, let me know what do you think about research and development. How would you like to go with it? And I'm looking forward to see your point of view on
So
this topic.
basically, research and development, you have to see as research and development needs to be a tool that will allow you to sell something. It makes no sense for you to research and develop a product that you cannot sell, because the reason for you to be in business is to sell. This is at the base of everything. Sales is the engine that will allow you to do better work, to do more work, to get more clients. When I work with small studios and freelancers, they try to enter the market with a product that it's not mature enough, and so the quality of images is not there yet, or there is something missing. And the idea oftentimes is that I can start no matter how, and then we'll figure it out later. Now, there is a little bit of truth in that. You can still do it. This idea of jumping and figure out how to fly later. I love that, especially because, culturally speaking, I'm from the south of Italy, in Napoli, and this is how we do a lot of things as Neapolitans. And we are known in the country for being this kind of, to have this kind of attitude. But the reality is that in a competitive industry, when you come in with a product that it's not a level, then you're starting with a huge handicap. And so people need to understand that the goal here is not to make better images. Making better images is sort of like the buy-in in poker, is the token that you have to spend in order to play the game. Research and development needs to be something that will allow you to get to the next client. Now, there are two ways basically that you can go on about research and development. The first one is to work on projects that can get you the right placement in the market. I give you an example. Say that there is a competition that it's going to be published everywhere, okay? And you say, I would like to have images of a project in that publication. Now, When you do something like this, there must be a fair exchange of value. Meaning, if an architect comes to you and it's a big name and they say, oh, yeah, yeah, do me the images for free because then I'll get you the publication, you are taking a much bigger risk than the architect, because you don't know if those images are going to make it into the publication, and you're giving a tool for the architect to actually probably even win money. A good example of taking this as an opportunity would be an architect is just starting out. He comes to you and says, hey, I don't have money. I'm just starting out. I'm bootstrapping. I need your images because I love your work and I would like to work on this together. Do you have the possibility to do this together? Yes or no? That is a conversation that would be better to have. In that way, you can actually get a fair exchange of value. Um, we have plenty of situations where architects come to us and they say, we need to vet you, we need to evaluate your work, so provide an image for free. And I'm like, it's a trap, this never leads anywhere. And actually, we tested this. I said, okay, we're gonna play this game, but all the images will be watermarked. We'll give them to you in low resolution. Produce the image, beautiful image. The architect disappeared. And this was for me just to prove a point that there must be a fair exchange of value. There are many projects that we did, well, many with the company where I'm working here. There is one that I can think of where the exchange was fair and we got our fair share of value from that project. The architect also got that fair share of value. As a result, we got a big project out of it, so the investment was worth it. The second way to do business development, to do research and development, is to create a product that is different, product service that is different. I have had clients in the past that, when we talked about research and development, they will focus always on the idea of having better quality images, right? And I am okay with people doing that if they feel like they have to, level up the quality of the work that they produce. But you always need to remember, this is money that you're spending. Even if you're not spending money, if you're putting time, this is time that you could put into other things that could get you money to keep moving forward with your business. And this is very important. Money in business is a tool, it's never really an end. um, and there is a larger truth to this statement, but money primarily is a tool that allows you to move forward. And so, I can give you an example, an application that we have developed at the Digital Bunch. It's called Your Next Home. It's actually available also for artists. Artists can use it. It's a very good application because basically um, we have developed it based on the feedback that the clients were giving us. So, this was a need that we had to fulfill for other people. So we developed that app, we launched that app, and now we have a lot of people using it because it really goes and fulfill the needs of the end client. That project uh, is now getting onboarding more clients for us. So, the investment was worth it. At the Digital Bunch, we do develop apps continuously. There is another app that we have developed after this one. It's called Local Loop. It's specifically designed for the Australian market. But we do that thinking, hey, how is this going to lead us to more clients? How is this going to lead us to more sales? Um, this is the right way to do uh, research and development. Um, and that's it. It's very simple. Now, the next question for an artist would be like, so what should I do for research and development?
Yeah, I mean, thank you very much for sharing those two ways. So I would summarize those two ways. Okay, then I would move to some of I would say case studies about research and development we have done in the past and we are still doing. So what Fabio said basically, either you do it for someone on a discounted price, and in return you get the credits plus portfolio job, and you have already now a case study in that type of projects. Just make sure that you get the credits, you get all the things you agreed on in the beginning. And the second one is developing something new based on your view or your observation for the market, and basically fulfilling a missed or like underserved need in the market. Fabio, did I summarize in a good way?
Yeah, fair enough. And I will go also as far as to say,
Yeah.
but with a little disclaimer, you can actually work for free in research and development as long as there is an exchange of value. Because again, like we need to think of money as a tool. Usually, when people ask me straight up and they say, "Hey, should I work for free?" I always tell them no, because they lack. Sometimes people lack the judgment. But if there is a project that it's really worth to do for free, then that consideration should happen. I can tell you one thing for sure: you should never work for free for somebody that tells you, "I can give you exposure." This is like, it's in the realm of digital design, is when you should smell bullshit.
Those are future promises. Avoid future promises. Those are the one of the red flags. Yeah, great. So what Fabio said are completely actionable, I would say, case studies from the market. They are using it. Also, a lot of people are using it at the same time. So as we talked about in the beginning, what you need to avoid is doing something because you like it, or it's happening from your inner side, saying, I want to learn how to do virtual reality. So you occupy your team and you send them for training, and they will learn virtual reality, and you need to figure out a project and make the case study just to show it to someone. You don't know who is that one, and hoping that this might lead to a project. So this is how we use research and development. So as Fabio said, research and development has a lot of use cases. So the use case number one is do it for free or for a discounted price. Okay, but this does not mean this case. A client is coming to you with an inquiry, okay, and you do have case studies or examples, and they are promising you, hey, look, I'm going to give you the credits. I'm on budget. Can you do it for free or for 10% of the price? This is a no-go. Just leave it. This happens, like you do it for free when, let's say you want to enter a new market, or you want to get into a new segment, and you don't have case studies from this. You don't have, for example, you are going to high-rise buildings, okay, or multifamily sector, and you don't have a lot of case studies, okay, and you do need to get jobs from there because you like it. I don't know, you want to explore it. So in this case, I'm going to contact someone, and or like a company there. I'm tell them, hey, look, I don't have case studies there. I'm happy to do it for free for you, in exchange of the credits, so I can use this project in my case studies. In this way, I'm going to do it. You do need to have the finance to finance yourself while you are doing it, but this is coming from you toward a specific client you want to work with in the future, because those people are going to get your quality, and if you do a good job, now you have the foot in the door and the relationship has started. This is one case. Another case is, let's say you want to target a specific segment, and they do have 3D visualization, okay, and you know that you can do better. This case study has happened in December. Okay, so the studio has seen a developer, and they knew that the quality of the visuals are not really going to sell, and they remade the one complete image, the hero image, based on what they understood from the design, from the images and the floor plans. And they contacted the developer, they set a meeting, and they showed the image. And the developer was saying, oh my God, this is like 180 degrees away from what we already have. And the developer immediately asked them to redo all the visualization. And during the way, my client discovered that the developer is not hiring any televisualizer. He's just using the quality their architects are providing. With respect, architects are really overwhelmed and they don't really have time to make a good image. They can make screenshots, but they cannot make like high quality images if they are dedicated to the design and permits and client communication, all of that. So this is like a use case number two. So a use case number three, also a client was doing images. Their client uh, asked them for 360, then virtual tools, connect them together with hotspots. And my client saw that, the available solutions are not really well presented. So he asked someone to develop an app to showcase the virtual tools. And when you provide virtual tools or even like 360s, you need to provide them with like with a limited time for accessibility, okay, or they can host it on their own software. And he said, okay, you know what, I'm going to develop my software. So he developed a software for himself basically, and he invested in it as a business investment. And after that, he found that many people could really use it. So he started to sell subscriptions for people to use this software. Um, Also, if you know, I'm not going to advertise. I'm not advertising. I don't know the guys, but like, if you know a platform called Nimbler, so Nimbler is like a client communication tool. So you upload your images, clients can make comments. Those are two people from the industry. They made I would say a simpler version from Review Studio and Frame.io, just to make something presentable. So I'm uploading the images, the client is making comments, and you know that they have made the comments, and you say resolved, resolved, resolved. Now the client knows that a new image is uploaded. This is way better than email and PDF communication. So in this way, you have a clear idea. Um, I do have a lot of another ways of research and development, but like I'm going to summarize what I said because I don't want to continue talking for 30 minutes. Okay, we do have a couple of questions. So either you do it for a fee for a new segment for a specific person. You use this research and development to get a foot in the door, or um, you define an underserved client or underserved segment in the market, and you redo the work. Basically, if you have a team, you are paying them salaries to do the job. It is research and development, and you do better quality, and you set up a meeting to shows them what you can do. And for this, I need to say one huge important note: do not redo it, then ask for the meeting. Okay, we had a case. It's not a client, it's a connection. He told me, hey, Anis, look, I have an interior designer in mind. I love his work. So what I did, this interior designer has a lot of images, like photographs and sketches on his Instagram. So what I did is I took one of his sketches, I remade it in 3D Max, and I made a beautiful image out of it, and I sent him his sketch with my rendering. I never got a reply. I told him, my friend, you cannot redo it without asking him. You do need to ask him, is it okay for me if I redo this and show you the last result? Okay. If you like it, we can have a talk. If you don't like it, that's it. So when you ask them this, you ask them for their, I would say, acceptance of you using their assets. They are now waiting for you, and you have a reason to finish this and reach out to them instead of you doing it in the background. No one knows about it, and then they don't reply to you, and you are now disappointed from yourself, not from them. So that is very important. And the last one is exactly what Fabio said. You develop an underserved need in the market based on maybe your needs or maybe your observation of the market. We do have one last thing. We will get to it later. Um, Fabio, I'm going to read. Do you have anything you want to add before we read the comments?
Just to the thing that you said about making renderings for an architect or an interior designer, um, uh, you can actually find yourself in a situation where if you make the images without asking the architect first, then the architect can also say, you have no right to do that. Stop,
Absolutely.
don't do it.
Yeah.
In theory, I want to be the devil's advocate. You can actually still copy it because, it's a piece of art. So, if you're not selling it to anybody and it's just work that you use for yourself, you can still do it. In theory, you're not allowed to publish it on your website because then this is the gray area of commercial work. But it can happen that you will make an image, go to the architect to show him, hey, look, we made this for you, and then the architect will get mad. uh, Funny enough, if you do take a picture of an architect's building and then you reach out to the architect and say, hey, I made a picture, look how beautiful it is with a camera, then it's crazy because like then the architect
Yeah.
would actually be, hey, can I use that image? And that's simply because if you take a picture, the architect knows that it's their building. If you make an image, it's like you're creating it, and so it doesn't fly by them, which
That's
is
a good point. Yeah.
absurd, but it is what it is.
Absolutely. So I'm going to start to reading the comments. So there is a comment from Ahmad Amir. Client disappearing and not closing deal is literally where I am stuck now. So what do you mean by not closing deal? So do you mean that they reach out for a quotation and you, as many, you send the quotation by email and you never heard of them? Just please confirm if this is the case, so I know, or Fabio knows how to reply. The second thing, I feel like the difference is usually when someone approaches you and tells you he or she wants work for free, you shouldn't agree. 100%. Anis, after Fabio, please get this guru on the stream.
Johannes, yeah.
Yeah, this stream is only for me and Fabio. It's not. It's not. I mean, Fabio is not a guest. So is. I mean, this stream is only for the business side. But like, yeah, we can have him. We can have him
Well,
as
we
well.
should invite Johannes. He's a
Yeah,
great guy and he's super insightful.
yeah, absolutely. Uh, but if it is a project you are genuinely interested in and want to work in for free, approach the designer for that opportunity. If not a project, if that you are interested in the client, not the project, and you need, I mean, if you are interested in that segment of clients and you do want to work with them because you heard someone saying that they are profitable or they have a lot of work, then you need, if you don't have a similar project, if you have a similar project, you approach them as usual. I mean, as usual, maybe you don't know, but like there should be some ways you approach clients with leads approach. And after the quotation is done, they disappear. Even with cheap prices, I also struggle with marketing to generate. Yeah, my friend, you struggle because you are offering cheap prices. This is one. Two, we never send a quotation by email as a first approach. We should meet the client, meet them.
Yeah,
Anyone who does not really meet, just ignore them.
yeah. Anis, I think you should expand on that segment of like you don't send the quotation without meeting the client first. I mean, this is very important because people need to understand the difference between window shopping and actual looking for somebody who can help you doing stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, look, whenever you get an inquiry, you are getting the inquiry, the inbound. It means they found you somehow and they are interested in a work you are doing. So if they are serious, they will find a time to meet you to discuss their project. Now, the thing is, what you need to know, you are in a premium service. Archviz is not, I mean, we are all looking at it on LinkedIn, on Instagram as a commodity, but it is not. You cannot resell your images. You cannot even resell your assets. You cannot resell your hours. So it means you do it only one time for one company, one person. Once you understand that you are doing something premium or maybe tailored, you cannot do it like anything else. You do need to meet the client and understand why they need this and do they have the money when this decision should be made about who is going to do the visuals. And when you know the why, when, and you can also ask, and how much, sorry, and you can also ask, um, how did you find me? I mean, just ask them some questions about, I mean, the usual question. Just imagine a friend reaching out to you. And once you do it in the meeting, I mean, just by doing the meeting, you are different. I mean, you differentiate yourself from 90% of the industry. This is number one. Two, um, you need to understand their trigger to find someone. Is it the price? Is it like a communication issue? Is it the quality? Is it a similar project? Is it the capacity? You are alone or you have a team? So understanding this point from the meeting is hugely important. Now, we can go on for a while, for like 1 hour. I think Fabio also can speak about it a lot in sales. The only tip you need to take it from us now is whenever you get any inquiry, don't do any effort in making any quotation. Ask them for a meeting to understand the project and who meets you. Okay, you spend 30 minutes to explain the project with me. I'm happy to spend more to make the quotation and send it to you. And on the meeting, you ask them, when are you going to get back to me? Okay, there is no sales meeting that will be closed without a date for a follow up or a date to get that decision.
I just want to say to Raffaele,
Would you like to add anything about this topic
uh,
before we move to the next
I
questions?
appreciate what he did, and
I will.
Forza Napoli sempre.
So I recently did 2 images for the Maradona Stadium in Naples.
This is Maradona. I have a tattoo of Maradona. You know, every Napolitan, a real Napolitan, either has a tattoo of Maradona or Mary, the mother of Jesus. I chose Maradona.
I'm telling him, I mean, I would also do it for this reason. And Ahmad, I don't know where you are. I think you are somewhere in the Middle East. Okay, you have a lot of window shoppers there. You do need to meet. I mean,
Gotta be
if no
selective.
one is going to agree on meeting, they will send an email. I will research the company, get the number, call them. Hey guys, you sent me this. Okay, could you give me more information?
So you have to understand that in this business, this is the truth. Doing an image is not the core of this business. The core of this business is to go get contacts, get leads, get sales. This is the sad reality. We enter this business with the skills, being able to do images, but we stay and we succeed by doing sales. You really have to put this into your head. If you don't make that mental switch, you'll always be stuck in production. And sometimes the sad reality is that you have to admit to yourself that you're not good at selling. But the moment that you do realize that you're not good at selling, 50% of your profit, you have to let it go to hire somebody that is going to do sales for you. This is the sad reality. So, if you want to build a company, you need to understand that you have to put your foot down, learn sales, learn marketing, learn communication. This is something that often, artists hate to do, to post on social media and to talk about their projects because it's like, no, the project should talk for itself.
So Inda said, so it's just like experience share. So well, you did completely right. You did two projects to tap, I mean, to get into the market. The only thing that is missing, those projects does not really exist in real life. And they are not real projects. They are like imaginary situations or imaginary projects. What you maybe need to do next is ask someone to do it for them for free in case you don't have the similar case study. You get the credits. It's a real project. It's a real client. You get testimonial from the client or maybe an interview, and it will be a great case study. Ahmed, sounds golden. Thank you very much. We still have 15 minutes. Okay. I would love to know from people who watched the last episode and this episode today. Could you please write a summary of what you really learned from what we shared? Just for us to know, are we sharing the right information the right way for you? Is it coming across? Is it good way?
Actually, in the next episode, we're gonna talk about markets, different markets. Personally, I'm going to talk, because we're gonna try to give some actionable things that you can start doing. I want to talk about the price to value switch conversation, which is a conversation method to sort of like make people think about the value of things rather than the price, because the price can be negotiated. We hear all the time, about clients that pay more for images. The reality is that, there are markets that are more competitive than others. If you compare, I don't know, uh, India to America, okay? Obviously, people in America will pay more, but everything is connected. So, like if the perception of value is not attached to your product, you can go to America and still be paid maybe a little bit better than if you, say, come from India, but it's not going to be the amount of money that you could be paid if you were a big name. And so, the whole idea of perception and everything, I feel like in the next episode, we're going to create a little bit of clarity so that people understand, hey, why is it that I'm writing to all these clients in Australia and nobody's answering? Probably because you're still not capable of communicating and the right perception of value. Uh, so I do look forward to the next episode. But based on everything that we have said, I'm hoping that there will be some questions that we can answer.
So next episode, as Fabio said, we will talk about some insights from markets we both know about. Also, we will talk about what should be your next step after getting this information, because like information, we all can really get a lot of information. We never know if it is right or wrong. Because we are saying it does not mean that it's 100% applicable to your business. So you do need to have some sort of um, like what should be your next step in order for you to get, let's say, enter a new market or even get a premium market in the same place where you are performing in the business. And we will announce a little thing that will happen at the end of March. It is something I think it's going to be great help for many, because I think what is missing in our industry is the business knowledge that is tailored to your case. We are all, I mean, you are all doing the same thing from the outside. When you get into the inside of each business, you will find a huge difference in stories or in starts, in types of clients, type of quality. And for that, we are looking to create something tailored for these specific cases. So Ahmed Amir said, first episode, we learned how to define, find, and maintain high-paying clients. Now it's all about growing your business through R&D and how to expand properly. That's in summary what we learned. Perfect. Thank you very much. That is a great feedback.
Fabio, please share your points on people saying saturation in the archivist market. Um, so it is true. There is a lot of people that are capable of doing the same thing and they aim at doing the same thing. And that's the reason why there is a general feeling that the market is saturated. But I can tell you one thing: I am all the time in business development conversations, and clients always complain about providers and vendors that are not capable of fulfilling their needs. Now, we are saturated with people that know how to make an image, but this again is 2% of doing the visualization job. People often talk about soft skills in communication. It's not soft skill at all. It's a very hardcore skill to have. Just the ability to bridge and create a link between the needs of the client and whatever it is that you offer by communicating it correctly. It's so helpful because a client might be looking at your renderings and still not understand how those renderings are going to help him in whatever it is that they're trying to achieve. How to handle comments, feedback, all that kind of stuff. Like oftentimes you hear people complaining about clients destroying your work because they give you feedback that it's not good. Okay, so you need to create a set of tools that allow you to protect your own work, right? Those are mainly communication tools, tools that you use to say, hey, look, we are running tests on the work that you have asked us to do, and this is not looking as pleasing as what we gave you in the first place. You have to go to the extent of like showing and not telling to win sort of like an argument. But all of these things are things that we need to educate ourselves to do. And I want to sort of like run a short reminder on this whole conversation. The whole idea of us finding better clients and premium clients doesn't mean that suddenly we're going to open the Pandora box and better clients will come with more money. It means we need to learn how to elevate ourselves to provide the service for our client so that the client is happy. But remember, this is always going to be a fight because the job of the client is to client. And so, even when you do get to the point where you can serve them good, create a good product, create a good service, they'll always try to take more from you. Then comes into place the boundaries, right? You have your boundaries, you know that you have done the best work that you can, you communicate, you fight with your client to make them understand that you have given them what they were looking for. And trust me, all of these parts are necessary for you to be successful. You cannot be successful if you do not have a fight with your client. You cannot be successful if you don't have a time that you tell them, no, this cannot be done. There are also ways on how to say no to your client because no comes with a lot of implications. But all of these things are in place so that you can elevate yourself and the product and service that you offer to your client. So I want to make that specification because I am actually happy that people are asking questions like, how do you define a premium client? Because it makes you understand that people realize that there is no people out there that will give you money for nothing. So there is this consciousness that we have finally understood. Hey, people are not going to give you anything for free. So what do you need to do? You have to elevate yourself, right? So I do feel, you asked about the saturation in the market. I don't think that there is a saturation. I think that there is a lot of people that are not doing the business side of things correctly. And yeah, if they want to focus on making images and their aim is just to make images and they're willing to sell themselves for little in order to just keep making images because this is what makes them happy, this is not what is going to help them in the progression in their business. And I'm not saying this as a criticism, I'm saying this by being somebody who hit their nose in the wall hard and understood that the hard way, right? So I really do hope that this is helpful advice for you guys and that you can start, hopefully with our help, to take actionable initiatives so that step by step you're going to be able to start that improvement. And again, I want to emphasize the step by step thing because, we talk about market saturation, a lot of people doing the same images. If we put that kind of effort in trying to improve ourselves 1 to 2% in terms of sales and marketing performance per year, in a period of 10 years, we're going to be 20-30% ahead of the curve. And there is this concept which is the paradox of the shoemaker, which hopefully we can touch on in one of the next episodes, where if you put a lot of effort into elevating yourself, maybe 10-15 years down the line you're going to reap the benefits of this. The whole goal here is to make it to 10 to 15 years down the line.
If you don't mind, Serene, I'm going to answer this saturation thing. So what Fabio said, I don't think there is a saturation in the market, is 100%. There is no saturation in the market. Saturation is just your feeling from what you see on the web, on YouTube and on LinkedIn and on Instagram. The most important thing you should really care about is what your clients are saying. And to know that, you need to talk to them outside the time where you have projects. Regarding the saturation thing, it is number one is a feeling. There is no saturation in the market. This is one, but you do need to read the market from your client's eye, not from just web browsing. Look, I am doing business development coaching. Fabio is doing business development coaching. I can tell you one of the hardest things in Archviz is to get real data about how many people are in the industry. Okay, who are your target clients? Where are they? And a lot of this work usually is done manually. I paid 4,500 US dollars for a company to give me a market research. I got a market research about 3D visualization in general. This is including automotive. This is including and also it was included. I mean, Archviz was included, and they gave me the top performing companies in the industry. And I found one company I exactly know they are not one of the 10 on the top. They listed them on the top because all the data is outdated. And in our industry, companies don't really share insights, numbers, or the pricing strategies. So there is no saturation. Take it from Fabio, from me. The only thing you need to care about is the conversations. What your clients will say when you ask them about the market. Now, let me give you a case study. 2020, Corona hit. Everyone at home is at home. Everyone lost their job. Everything is on hold. So I started with someone working on the business, and in the beginning, I was asking myself, okay, what should I help this company with? And because they have a huge client list, they have a lot of successful case studies. And I told them, well, use this time to connect with your clients and make interviews with them. So everyone was free. So the company had a lot of time interviewing their clients, and all those recordings, they shared those recordings with me, and we distilled what should be next. And based on that, they made like a software, like an app for their clients. And that app was specifically for specific cases. And the company now has evolved, and it is like getting into multiple markets. My point is, this is also research and development. Okay, like setting a time apart from doing the Archviz or even business development just to meet the client, listen what they say about their situation, is something. If you have two clients and they say we don't have work, This does not mean that the market is down. You see, if you like, if you read a couple of hate comments or people who are completely negative on the social media, this does not mean the market is saturated. So that's a summary. Um, Comments? Is there any other comments? So basically, finding high-paying clients is much more about the whole process, from lead to client after sell service, rather than, yeah, finding them is just like one small step, and realizing that makes you tap into a market that is not as, look, saturated market. I mean, it's very tough to say a market is saturated. You see, I mean, we don't really have a lot of data. Thank you, Ender. I appreciate you attending the whole hour. Great, Fabio. We have completed the hour. Do you have anything else to we would like to add?
Nothing. I look forward to seeing people at the next episode, and this is where we're gonna crunch down, with actionable things. I want to make sure for people to understand that, like, we are building up to the actionable things because it's very important for people to develop a strong critical thinking, because nowadays this is what's missing the most in our society. People are not thinking critically about things anymore. So we want to give you the knowledge first so that you can sort of like churn it into your brain. And then later on, we'll give you some tips that you can use. But by giving you the sort of like the groundwork of what you should know, hopefully those tips are going to put you in the right direction. And again, do not expect results tomorrow. Do not expect them even in 6 months. Do understand that this is the sort of like a proverbial hero journey, right? This is something that you're supposed to be doing for your entire life. And sometimes certain things, even though you'll know them, you'll only ended up learning them 5, maybe 10 years down the line. I've been in this business for 19 years now, and there are still things that I'm learning every single day. So this
Perfect.
should make you feel comfortable with screwing things up.
Yeah. To the point about things take time. You do need to realize it and really like understand that there is no quick tip to get the client. If you send a cold email and the client will say yes, it is just luck. If you repeat it 99.99%, this won't really be repeated a lot of time. And also, if you do it right, okay, with the complete set of actions, okay, like with the roadmap we have, the life cycle of a successful campaign is between 4 to 6 months. And if you do it once, okay, you won't really see anything. You need to do it multiple times, like each month at least you make one campaign. Then over time, this will stack up and you will see that it's rewarding. You are getting a lot from your previous actions. Thank
Okay.
you very much, everyone, for joining. Next time, Fabio and I will share, we will repeat everything. We'll have a complete summary and actionable steps. And Fabio will share, and Fabio and me will share our insights about specific markets, so you can use this, so that you can use this information to enter those markets. Goodbye, everyone. See you next week. Goodbye.
Thank you, guys. Okay. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.